Hello and welcome to Spy Money. What a day. Tonight is going to be awesome. We have just blown the market completely out of the water tonight. A complete rage. In our Discord group today, there was many call outs. A lot of people made money today. A lot of people got themselves in great shape. Look at this right here. Up to 2870. Huge. So a lot of people got into some really good trades today, and they should pay off tomorrow. We got in, there was Microsoft, there's Walmart, there's TLT, there was some people got in AMD, Bind, Uber, a bunch of them. So a lot of people made money today, and will be making a lot of money tomorrow, and that's the name of the game. So we have changed our format. I no longer do the market briefs live on YouTube. We do those in the Discord channel. So if you're not part of our Discord channel, you want to join, because we go over those early in the morning. I post charts so everybody can see the charts, kind of know what's going on and how to play the game that day. So if you're not part of our Discord group, there's a link in the bottom. Go to SpyMoneyLLC.com and you can read all about it, learn how to take the courses and everything else. So if you're new to trading, there's courses there. And if you're and already an experienced trader, maybe want to learn something else like futures, that's where the money is, then you can get on that. So enough about that. ES today. I thought it was going to sell off because there is a shoulder here, a head, and a shoulder. Now, that's not to say that it won't sell off tomorrow, because we are in let me go to a 1 hour. We still are in a ascending wedge pattern. So this could easily go up and hit around the 2885 or so, somewhere on through there, and bounce back down. So just because it's up tonight don't mean it's not going to be dropping tomorrow. It is Friday. It's Friday sell-off is what we call it. And this has already went up. I'm looking for it to actually come up and hit the 2882 and then probably sell off. So don't get your hopes up on money yet, because tomorrow it may all be washed away. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. So ES, that's kind of what we had on playing with it. It was in this channel and it formed its head and shoulders. The actual, according to the pattern, it looked like it was going to sell off. We started kind of planning for that even on some different trades, but that was one of them we got in. So that's what's going on with ES. And let me back this up a little bit to a 15-minute chart. And actually, let me go to a 5-minute and see what it's doing there. See, it's still pumping. So it went from close would be right here. So from there up to the high was 3 points, 84 points and 3%. So it went up quite a bit. One of the other plays we did was Walmart. Walmart, a bunch of us had calls in it the last little bit. Let me go to 15. We had calls back over in here, sold off a bunch. This was several days ago, and then we have been buying calls all through here, and we sold off a bunch right up in here. So we thought that this was probably going to be the high, and we all started buying some puts. Some of us sold puts here, some of us sold puts there, made some money. So I think some people got into possible Walmart calls. I'm not real sure about that. But anyway, it run up today. I loaded up on puts right here. Actually, I loaded up here, and then I loaded up there. When we hit this top trend line, that's when I thought it was going to sell off. And when we started looking at it, the red candle started popping up, so I thought it was just going to sell off the rest of the day. It turned and went back up, so I bought more puts at closing. We had this big old candle here. If we look at the 5-minute or 1 minute, you can really see it. I thought we were going to sell off right at the close of the day, so I put a sell in, hoping that it would just go down, hit my sell price, and get me out. But it didn't, and we started raging. We're selling off right now. So as far as on Walmart, I'm hoping that Walmart will do what it usually does. If the market's going up, the Walmart will usually do the inverse. Not always, but probably 70% of the time Walmart will do the opposite. So if it can go down, a bunch of us will make a bunch of money there. We're a bunch of us loaded up in puts there. And there were some people in Tesla today. And look after hours. I hadn't even looked at it after hours, but several in Tesla had made some money on it. And Uber, I actually thought when I back this up, it's in an ascending triangle. And let's see here. Let me go. It's 15. Yeah, you can see it. It's in an ascending triangle. So I bought calls on it. I think it was right in here is where I bought calls, and then I bought some more today, and then it started selling off more. And the way the market was moving and had that head and shoulders, I thought, sure as the world, this is going to sell off. So what do? I sell off for about a 20-some% loss on it, and then I'll be daggone if it don't rage. So follow your charts. Charts rule. If your chart says that, more than likely it's going to go unless you have news. And we didn't really have news that I know of other than Trump keeps talking about trying to reopen the market. The governors are saying they're not going to do it. New York actually shut down through May 15th. And where I live in South Carolina, we're still shut down through the 27th. And that could actually be extended. So the governors are in a fight with Trump. So let's see who wins that. I have a feeling the governors are going to win. So as far as your charting, stay with your charting, because if I would have, I probably would still be in calls and not got out. But if we look at this one, they got a top, top, and a top. That's called a triple top. That's a sign of a reversal. So when you have a triple top like that, and then we've got ES is actually kind of pulling back a little bit, you've got this trend line here, so there's a good chance that this will actually pull back tonight. So like I said, don't count your money yet. And then we've got TLT I got in. I got in puts right here, and then I've loaded up some more puts right here. And so this is going to pay off well tomorrow. The last time I was in TLT, I made $12,000 in about a week and a half. And I'm loaded up almost as much money in it as what I did the last time. And how I played this was I have a channel. All right, so we had our base down here. We had a bunch of tops, and I almost got in calls here and didn't do it. I was afraid it was going to drop down to here, so I stayed out. I should have been in them and rode it all the way up to here, sold them, and then hopped back in puts on the way down. So I'm playing this channel. That's my plan. And so hopefully tomorrow this will sell off. I hope it just busts through this channel and keeps on going. Where it's going to go, it's hard to say. Last time it was, let me go back to 1 hour. Last time I got in up here and it went all the way down. So I made the 12,000 here. So if I can get this to drop down to probably, if I got it down, if it went down to here, but I don't see that as a support. Probably right on through here somewhere. But if I can get down through there, if I can make 4,000 or 5,000 on it, that would be great. So I'm not going to be disappointed in what I make. If I have to sell it down here on this one, that's still good money for what I've got in it. Target, I don't think anybody really had any target today, but it is actually going up. One of our members had talked about buying target, and I told him that I didn't know for sure because it was kind of basing up here. It was in this area that was actually not really necessarily wanting to get in, but you do have like a cup and a handle. So this actually did take off when you look at a 1 hour chart here. That's a very small one, but that's exactly what it was. So if I remove this drawing, so that was actually the cup. Right here's the pullback, and then there it goes. So possibly target may keep on going. Depends on what the market does. If the market sells off, this will come down. Look at SPY. I know you all like SPY. Look at that thing. It just shot way up. But again, don't count your money yet. It did break above this resistance right here. So it's actually on up. It looks like it's trying to come down now. May just be a small pullback. You had this big old long wick. Usually that's a sign of the sellers trying to test where the buyers are, and the buyers pushed it back up. That's a lot of times that's what that is. If we look at a 1 minute, see if there's a lot of them. No, just that one. So we got that big old sell right there. So they're testing. That's what they're doing. So if you start seeing these the rest of the night, then it's showing that the buyers are there. But looking at this, I mean, there's not a wick per se. It's actually a solid one. So there's not a lot of buyers there, so this may pull back down. That's kind of my thoughts with it. Go back to 15s. We can look at some more. No one got in Roku. We were talking about it, and I've been talking about Roku for quite a while now on the streams, but no one actually got in it. Don't know why. We all kicked ourselves for not doing it. We talked about it every day, and every day we never got in it. So, and it actually went up and hit the fib. It's actually basing over, so this will possibly pull back tomorrow. Just depends on how that market goes. And Netflix, there's some people in our group that says that this cannot stand. It has to come down. And so they loaded up on puts on it today because they insist it's going to come down. Well, I think they're right. Looking at this, if you look up here, you've got our fib at 453. And what I suggested to him is I thought that it might run up tonight. And if it did, it's going to be dropping off tomorrow before you're able to get into your puts. So it would actually be better to get in your puts today and then let it go ahead and do its thing and come down. You'd actually be in green by opening tomorrow. So that was the plan that we took on that. Again, if you're not in our Discord group, you would never know that. But if you're in our Discord group, you would have known because we talked about it in the lobby. Everybody was listening in. We all talked about it, hashed it out. And I think Kevrock and Kevin and I think Billy were the only two that got in it. I'm not sure. I can't remember for sure who all got in. But this is going to be pretty good. A skyscraper cannot stand. It must come down. Somebody got into Norwegian Cruise Lines today. They bought calls down here real cheap. They were actually, let's see, Trump announces guidelines to open U.S. economy. So that was news that just come out. He's actually announced what he's going to do. I don't know what that is yet. So we have the Norwegian cruise line. He got in it. That was not anything I felt comfortable with, but if this rages tonight, then he could open and probably sell it off and make some tomorrow. He probably could have sold off today and made a little bit of money as it was going up. Microsoft, this is one that has been heavily talked about in our group. I was concerned about getting in because we had this trend line up here, and I just didn't feel comfortable getting in and that possibly maybe not hit it, or maybe it just went on through. For me, it wasn't good. But several in our group got in it, and they made a heyday. They are doing very well with it. So congratulations to them. I sat on the sidelines on Microsoft. Looking at it, again, it all depends on tonight. This could easily come back down. It seems like the majority of all of the tickers that we're trading are in somewhat of a almost bearish channel, and that's what concerns me. So we need to kind of watch what we're doing with that. It's really it's going to happen probably this week or maybe early next week of what's going to happen with our market. The Feds, I think, stopped putting money in today. So if they're not putting money in, then that's not going to stop the bears from coming in to start shorting everything. So, and I know they want some money. They're hungry. They want some honeys. We go to, here's a perfect example. This is Kohl's. They're not even open, but yet their market's raging. That's a sign of the Feds. The Feds have been pumping money in for so long. It's not the Trump economy, it's the Fed economy. Trump wants to take credit for making this economy so good, and it has nothing to do with him. It's the Federal Reserve is actually pumping money into it in order to get it up. So this is not him. This is the Federal Reserve. He does not control that Federal Reserve. Matter of fact, they don't even get along. So this is all Federal Reserve here. And this is, it's not really a pattern per se, but coal should be down to $5 right now. That's where it should be. There's no reason that this should have even pumped up. It's just following the economy. It's just the federal money being pumped into it in order to make the market hold and not scare people. But we're going to pay for this dearly over time. Google. I sold Google today, and I've been in it since down in here. I think I made, it was only like, I think maybe $350 or so I think I made on this. And by looking at it, I probably should have held. I actually got a little concerned about how the market was moving today. So I went ahead and sold at right up in here. And then when it started dropping, I was glad I sold. But now looking at it, it kind of makes me wonder, should I held? But you know what? When you pull the trigger to sell something or buy something, you got to be happy with that decision. You can't second guess it. I do not even like to go back and look to see what it is now. Like if I sold this one, I think $1.85 for the ones I had, which was, I think it was September 18th, 1820 strike price is what I had. And I sold it for $1.85. I had $1.50 in it, so I made $35 a contract, and I think I had, I think it was 10 contracts I had on that. That's what I had. So it was about $350 I made. So that would add up. But if I'd have kept them and went up, but if it sells off tonight, I would have made the right decision. Regardless if it goes to 2,000 or not, I'm happy with my decision. And when you sell, you've got to be happy. No matter what, you've got to. Looking at bind, we all got into buying calls actually over in here, and that started selling off. It looked like on the chart that it was going to keep on going, and I'm looking for it to probably go up to the 98.26 area. That's where I was thinking. Then it started selling off. So I almost sold them today and took a little bit of loss because I thought it was going to keep on going, but I held them. And hopefully that this market will actually kind of go up a little bit more with bind. Bind does not necessarily follow the market. Bind does its own thing. And by looking back on the 4-hour chart, it's in a ascending triangle right here. So it would actually behoove it to go ahead and probably come back down to here and then come back up. So when I bought it, I didn't have this triangle drawn out. Actually, it looked like a W. And I thought it was going to be a winner and just come up and go. But instead, it turned out to be a loser for me. But in time, I've got time on it, so it'll come back and I'll make some money on it. And who knows, it might be tomorrow. If if the market starts raging overnight and keeps on going, then I will just sell up in here and it'll be fine. So BA, wow, did it take off today. Look at all those patterns and charts I got on there. It took off today, but here's the thing, and you see it already, is this. We have a trend line that is perfectly touching every single one, including the one today. That tells me that the market that we're looking at right now, there's several things I've looked at that says the market is pretty much at its high right now. So I don't think that the market's going to keep on going. I think that was just a last pump to try to get people in, and the retail and stuff like that, after hours traders, and get them all in this, and then they're going to dump it. That's what I think. So if that happens, you can see the trend line of why I think that. This was in a pennant, which I do not like to trade pennants, but right here is the pennant. There's the line there and then one here. But it dropped out there and it come back up in it, stayed, and then it dropped out. I thought it was actually just going to drop out here, but then it started, the market come in and started doing better, so it come up. Now, the plane that they had decided to not build anymore and pulled away from, they actually changed their mind today and decided that they're going to start building it. So I don't know why they decided to do that, on the market. There's some inside stuff going on, so there's a chance that Boeing may continue to go up. I would prefer to go up because I've got calls on it. So even if the market drops out, Boeing could still take off because of their news. And that's kind of the way they work. Look at a couple more here. I'm not going to go through all of our lists. This is for our Discord group. We're just going to touch base on a few that we're talking about in trading today. Amazon, no one got in it, but everybody was saying that it is a skyscraper that needs to fall. And it looks like after hours it is actually pulling out. I'm not sure if anybody in our group got into Amazon puts. I never, because I was a little bit concerned that it might keep going. I needed more confirmation. So I would rather pay a little more premium for a put and have some confirmation on this particular one as to jump in it and be the wrong way. So I did not get in it yet. This is something that may or may not get in tomorrow. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. Tomorrow's Friday sell-off. Usually we have a red market. So everything I'm saying kind of correlates with being Friday coming up. But then again, we may rage. Last Friday we closed green. We didn't have a red market last Friday. And AMD took off today. AMD it's just, I mean, it's like a horse race. I mean, it's just taken off. So I think it's great. I think AMD will probably continue regardless of the market, my opinion. Apple took off today after hours. So it based over the last few days. Just about everything based over, and then boom, there it goes. Now, with Apple, it may continue to going up tonight. I would say that it's probably going to hit this channel and then probably pull back down. Everything that I've got drawn out in charts looks the same. It's going to hit tonight and then sell off. So everything's planned for Friday. That's what I'm saying. May be wrong, but I've been wrong before. So we had a joke in our Discord. It was talking about, I was trying to say I was wrong, but I couldn't. I just kept getting W's going across the text, and finally I put up a picture of Fonzarelli. Remember him? I'm wrong. So Fonzie. Maybe the younger people don't know him, but Fonzie was the coolest cat when I was a kid. Then we have NQ. NQ took off as well. It actually went up. It hit the 89.19. That's the fib, and that's pulled back. So with it hitting that kind of, having a fib right there, then that could easily be the stopping point. I don't think that, the news media, whatever they say is usually what's not going on. And the news media today said that we are in a full-fledged bull market. So that gets everybody buying. And I think what's going to happen is with them saying that today, that's probably what pumped a lot of this up. They were really preaching about the NASDAQ, talking about how it was much better than S&P 500. But honestly, the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 move about the same, except for today. Today, it actually went up where the S&P 500 was going down. But the media was talking about how the NASDAQ was, the one to buy and stuff. So looky here. When they start talking, this is what happens. Well, I think what's going on is they were preaching so everybody start buying it so that their people could start selling it off here. So after hours, it jumped up, and I think that there will be so much sell-off tomorrow, it's not funny. Based off of how they talk, because whenever they talk, you don't listen. You listen, but you just don't do what they say. So when the news media starts pumping something, you get out. They start pumping Walmart as well. And Walmart just so happened to hit the high, a brand new high that's ever had, and not a 52-week, but a brand new high. And it's also at that trend that we looked at earlier. So, when we go back to it, we're up here at this trend. They've been pumping it for the last 2 days, and here we are at the top. And then all of a sudden, boom, it starts selling off. So that's what news media does to you. Then we have crude oil. What's going on with crude oil? I think it's just probably going to keep on selling off, and it wouldn't shock me if we make a new low on crude oil. I think that our industry across America is starting to go more and more green. There's a lot of electric cars with Tesla. There's Jaguar has one. There's who's the new one? Ford is coming out with a new electric truck that when it comes out, I might get me one. I know someone that's already put an order in for one, and they're quite expensive, but I think I'd like to have one. I'm going to wait for 1 year to come out. And once that 1 year has come out and they've tested and proven it, then I will probably buy the next one. So the first one was 2021, so I'll probably buy a 2022. Mine's a 19, but I put a lot of miles on mine. I think I've already got 40-some thousand on mine right now. I think that's what I got on it. And I've only had it a year, so I drive a lot. So on crude oil, I think with all that being said, that's going to have a lesser market every year. They're going to be using less gasoline. Now, airplanes and things like that, you're still going to have the cars taking gas and so forth, but I feel that crude oil is probably going to kind of pull back. I don't think it'll ever get back to really where it was. It might get up in the 50s, but I don't think crude oil is ever going to go where it is. They're making too much of it now. The U.S. dollar started selling off right when the market started going up, of course. So I missed my USD CAD short here. I wasn't even thinking about it today. I wish I'd have got in it because there was 100 pips that I could have picked up on this right here. Not even to right here. It was 100 pips to about, I think, right here. So that is our market recap. If you, like I said, if you are not in our Discord group, then please join. Click that link down below. Take you to our website. You can look on there. There's a lot of descriptions of what we're doing. There's courses on there you can find. And just let us know what you think. We'd like to see you in there. It is a small fee, but one trade you'll pay for that fee, and the rest of it's all profit to you. And but anyway, like, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate you guys. And I'll see my team in the chat room. I'll be there shortly.